Okay, so a few days ago I asked you to drop all your questions, and today I will answer them. Now, there are quite a few questions about my Canon M50, the Canon M50 Mark II, and the new Sony ZV-E10. So what I'll do is I'll answer those questions first, but that means that the first part of this video is all about those cameras. So if you're not interested in that, then just use the chapters and skip it. Okay, let's do it. Here's the first question from Anurag Sharma, and I'll try to pronounce your names correctly, but I can't promise anything because I think it will get worse than this. And by worse, I don't mean that you all have ugly names, but it's just very difficult for me to pronounce them. But I'll do my best. So, hey, are you thinking about selling your Canon M50 and buying a Sony B cam? Well, actually, I have been thinking about that, but you know what? I want your advice on this, all of you watching, because I've made some rash decisions in the past. Remember my Canon R5? So yeah, I want to be 100% sure now. Because here's the thing, I've made some really cool videos with my Canon M50, some mock commercials, a short film, cinematic sequences, and most of them, not all of them, but most look really cool. And sure, I know that there are limits to what this camera can do, but overall, it's a great camera. I still love it, and I also use it as a B cam whenever I'm shooting something with my Sony a7S III and I want behind the scenes footage. It's my Canon M50. I also use it to shoot my thumbnails, photos, so it does a lot of work. It really does a lot of work. But that's kind of also the problem, that it has to do a lot of work. Because I don't have a lot of lenses. I have 2 for my Sony and 2 for my Canon M50. But I feel like right now I'm investing in 2 completely different camera systems, and it doesn't make sense for me as a small solo filmmaker, right? Because I do want to get a few more lenses to extend my range. So I think it would make a lot more sense to sell my Canon M50 and get a second Sony camera, so that whenever I buy a lens, I can use that lens for both cameras. And it will also make color grading a lot easier, for example, so my workflow will be a lot more streamlined. Less is more. That's what I'm thinking right now, that would make a lot more sense. But again, I'm not 100% sure, so let me know in the comments what you think. Maybe I'm missing something here. And as for which Sony I would go for, I'm not sure yet. Ideally, I would like something with similar capabilities to my Sony a7S III, so 10-bit, 4K, S-Log3. Now, my budget is not very big, so I think I'm gonna have to look at second-hand cameras, but that's no problem. Let me know in the comments what you think. Okay, next question from Kakashi Atake. Sounds Japanese. Cool. What are your views about the Canon M50 and the Sony ZV-E10? Well, I think both are great cameras, but I've said it before, we've talked about this before, the Canon M series, that M mount, the future is so vague and unclear. No one knows what will happen. So that's why right now, every time someone asks me Canon M or Sony, especially beginner filmmakers, I say go for Sony. Not because Canon M is bad, but just because the future is so unclear. And I don't want you to invest in a system that might get cancelled by the end of the year. You know what I mean? And Sony, they really know what they're doing with their beginner filmmaking cameras. So, Sony. Next up is Muntazir Hussein. My question is rolling shutter in budget cameras a big issue if we're getting decent configuration in the same camera, like the Sony ZV-E10? I've watched some videos on the Sony ZV-E10 and it's true, the rolling shutter is pretty bad, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a big issue. It all depends. First of all, because usually when people test rolling shutter, they're moving the camera really fast, and that exaggerates that jelly rolling shutter effect. But most people are not gonna move their cameras that fast in real life use. So what I would like to see is how it performs in real life everyday use, because in the end that's what matters. And also what you have to take into account is the target market for the Sony ZV-E10, because it's a beginner's camera, and I feel like if you're already talking and worrying about rolling shutter, then you shouldn't be looking at the Sony ZV-E10, because To me, it feels like you're already a level up from that. Of course, we're leaving budget out of it now. My advice is try to find some videos of people who are actually using the Sony ZV-E10 in their daily filmmaking and not people who are testing the rolling shutter, because that will distort your how you see that camera and the results and the performance. You know what I mean? Okay, next question from Pet-er. Pet-er. Peter or Pet-er? Probably Peter, right? Anyway, so Canon M6 Mark II versus Sony ZV-E10. Which one's better in video? First of all, again, the Canon M series, the future is unclear. So because of that alone, I would go for Sony. But on top of that, I think if it's specifically for filmmaking, you're also better off going for Sony. Their specs are usually better. 4K, autofocus, so Sony. Next question. 5 questions from the Elusive Frame. First one, how did you and Joanna meet? Well, we were working for the same company, but in different countries. So I was working in Belgium and she in Germany, so we met through work. Next one, do you plan on living outside of Belgium? We've talked about that a lot, and in our heads, we've lived all over the world already, or we see ourselves living all over the world. We've talked about United States, Australia, Belgium, also 6 months Belgium, 6 months Dominican Republic. Now we're back at let's stay in Belgium, but I don't know. It might change next week. But for now, Belgium is on the table. Okay, next question. What's the next big thing for you? I don't know exactly what you mean, but I think right now the next big goal is 100,000 subscribers on my channel, because then I would feel like I have a more established channel, and that would make it a lot easier to explore more different things, you know? Because right now, all my energy is going to the channel, and I feel like it needs it right now. I'm just not big enough to start exploring and extending my, how do you say that? My tentacles? You know what I mean? So yeah. The big goal, 100,000. Last question from the Elusive Frame. Next community challenge. Yeah, I've talked about it a few weeks ago, but you know, and then it slipped my mind again. But I want to do another community challenge, a short commercial, something like that. But first I want to do another commercial myself, a similar one, a short one, and then I know what the rules will be and I can motivate you a little bit. So it's coming, I promise. Next question from Lisa Renders. It sounds Dutch. Belgian? Lisa Renders? Lisa Renders? I could be Belgian. How do you get yourself over the fears of making a world trip and also the fear of starting a YouTube channel? Well, that's a very good question, and look, I can't speak for everyone because everyone's situation is different, everyone's life is different, you all live in different countries, so I'm pretty sure that for some it will be a lot easier to make that decision, like I'm gonna travel the world now. But about those fears, I know those fears, trust me. But from my experience, because I lived through the whole thing now, and from my experience, the scariest part is just making the decision. That 1 second, that click in your head, make the decision, I'm gonna do it. That's the scary part. And you should definitely think about it first, but also not too much and too long, because the problem is, I feel like the reason why it feels so scary is usually because of other people, what other people think and what they say to you. Because first of all, you have the people that say, you're crazy, what are you doing? You want to destroy your life? Maybe not so dramatic, but you know, you have those people who say like, whoa, what are you doing? And that makes you feel like you're taking a very scary decision. But there are also people who say, whoa, that's great, it's awesome. I would never do it myself, but good for you, it's so awesome. And that also makes you feel like you're doing something that's not normal, that's scary. So no matter what people say, they always make you feel like you're doing something extraordinary, scary, you know, crazy. But you know what? Once you've made that decision and you made the click, everything that comes after that isn't so scary and it just feels right and almost normal. It's a great feeling. It's like a liberating feeling. You know, after we made that decision, I had to quit my job, cancel the apartment, sell my car. And before the decision, that all seemed very scary and ooh, what's gonna happen? But once you make the decision, I'm gonna do it, and you start selling your car and you start canceling your apartment, it all just feels like, yeah, this is what I have to do to leave. And it feels normal. It really does. I mean, I have to be careful what I say here. It still feels exciting and, you know, maybe normal is the wrong word, but it feels right. But the key is to set it in motion. And I don't know what your situation is, if you're still in college or working already, but what you should do, instead of thinking by yourself, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I think I will leave in 6 months. That doesn't work. What you have to do is you buy a ticket for in 6 months, that you have to leave in 6 months. And once you solidify your decision like that, everything becomes a lot easier and you'll see that nothing's scary. It's just that, you know, that one, that's the scary part. Feel like I talked a little bit too long here, but you know what? Just drop me an email if you have questions. Just drop me an email. Okay, next question, Uni Krishnan. So, any plans on making a new short film and getting it into festivals? Whew, that's, you know, I would love to make a movie or a short film, but I feel like I'm not there yet. I feel like I have a lot to learn. You know, I started with video a year and a half ago. That's it. So, going from that to making a real short film, I feel like I have to learn a little bit more first. But I would definitely love to try it. Maybe in a few years. Okay, next question, Amped MTB. What got you into photography and then video? What made you decide to start a YouTube channel initially? What keeps you going? A long time ago, I studied computer technology and I got my degree, but once I got my degree, I realized that it wasn't for me. So I started looking for something else. And I had a friend who was studying photography and it just seemed interesting to me. I had never touched the camera until that day, but it seemed interesting and I enrolled in the classes and yeah, I got lucky that it was a good decision, I guess. And then video and YouTube came a decade later, you know, I already built up a career in photography, documentary photography, but after 10 years I felt like I wanted something new. I wasn't getting tired of photography, but I felt like I needed a new challenge. And so I started experimenting with video, YouTube, and now here we are. How I keep going? That's easy. This is so much fun, and that's how I keep going. It's so much fun. Next question. Flo, if you could use only one lens for the rest of your life, what would it be? Any 35mm, full frame 35mm, period. Taking photos and editing or making videos. Like I said, I'm not like tired of photography or bored with it, but right now I'm having so much fun making videos and I'm also learning so much. It's like this whole new creative outlet. So right now it's video. Video, I love it. Did you ever break expensive gear? Yeah, I had to think about it. I had to ask Joanna even because somehow I pushed it out of my mind. But I crashed my Mavic Air 2 on day 2 after I bought it. I think on day 1 I made a video of me flying a drone for the first time and I think I even said something like, yeah, it's so easy. If you play video games, then you won't have any problems flying a drone. Super easy. On day 2, crashed it. Embarrassing, but that's how it went. Okay. Next question, AJ the Alchemist. What was your favorite film cameras to use back in your photography days? I have two. The first one is my Canon 5D Mark III because that was the camera that I did my first big assignments with. And then after that, I bought the Pentax 645Z and that's the one I used for a project that won me an important award. So those two are definitely my favorite ones. Next up, Karun's Tech Studio. How to find topics that people search and please make more videos with Canon M50. I might sell my Canon M50, you know, but we'll see. How to find topics that people search. Yeah, so it's the never-ending thing to like please the algorithm and grow your channel, and it's very difficult. What I do now is usually I just go look on other channels and see what kind of videos perform well. But it's still very difficult to predict because sometimes I do a video on a topic that's very popular on another channel, but like it just tanks on my channel. And I think it also has to do with the audience you already have. So if you see a very popular topic on another channel, but your audience doesn't like that topic at all, then it will tank anyway. So you have to find those topics that fit your audience and do well. That's the combination you have to find. I don't use any third-party apps like TubeBuddy or things like that. I just try to come up with it myself. Okay, next up. Imcrystal. Imcrystal. I am Crystal. I am Crystal. That's it, right? What's your advice to people just starting YouTube? Just start and don't worry about what you want your channel to be, because if you scroll down on my channel and go to the older videos, you'll see that it's completely different from what I'm doing now. And I even unlisted a whole bunch of videos because I don't want people to see those videos and then subscribe because of those videos, only to find out that I'm doing something completely different now. So you just have to start and don't worry about, you know, what you want your channel to be, because you'll find out along the way. Next up, we'll make random videos. Will you do a video with a GoPro instead of a DSLR? I don't know, I have a GoPro, but I'll think about it. I mean, are GoPros still like popular? I feel like the hype has died out a little bit, no? I mean, doesn't mean that you shouldn't use a GoPro, but I'll think about it. Next, Neil Hasnat. Hi sir. Don't call me sir. I'm not a sir. Just call me Joris. The guy from your Instagram. What's your future plan about film? Got planned to make a full-length movie? Yeah, again, the question about movie short films. I would love to make a movie, but now you're already talking about a full-length movie, so that's still really far away. I think maybe in a few years I might try a short film, a real short film, but like I said, I'm not there yet. I have to still learn a lot. Next, Abi Naf. Are you planning a trip to India? I'm not planning one right now, but I have been to India in 2018 when we started our trip around the world. We traveled through India for 2 months. Started in Mumbai, then went down to, what was it? Kochi, then Munnar, Madurai, all the way back up to Chennai, I think. And then Delhi, the classic tourist tour, Udaipur, Jaipur, Jaisalmer, Varanasi, Calcutta. And it was an awesome adventure. I would definitely like to come back, but I don't have the plan right now. But there's so much still to see. I feel like we only saw, it sounds like a lot, but I feel like it's just like a small part that we saw right now. Maybe check out my website and my Instagram. If you scroll all the way down, you can see all the photos from that trip. Okay, next. Abhilash Karner. Aye, that's a difficult one. How to start with a video editing channel. Again, just start and don't worry about anything, because you'll learn everything along the way. And it's what everybody says, but it's true. It really is true. Your first videos will be bad. That's the same for everyone. My videos were horrible, the first ones. So don't worry about it, just start. That's just start. Next is Alphonse Anthony. I'm third comments, so you gotta answer me. Okay, I will answer you. How are you so underrated? I'm an OG, by the way. Yeah, no idea. If I knew, then I would be at 100,000 subs already, right? No, I mean, I think anyone can like build a decent channel, 50,000, 100,000 subs, but I do think that to get there fast, you need a little bit of luck and get that little extra push from the algorithm. And all the other people who don't have that little bit of luck, you just have to work hard and long, and eventually they'll get there. I'll get there too, I hope. Next one, the DJ 6842. How are you? Great, thank you. And then the last one, Varat Upadhyay. Varat Upadhyay. When will you change your logo? I asked you what you meant by that because I wasn't sure which logo. Apparently you mean the profile picture from my YouTube channel. And you're right, it's getting old, so I'm gonna put it on my to-do list. Thank you for that. That's it, guys. Wow, that took a while. Not sure how long this video will be, but it seems like it's gonna be a long one. So, thank you for all the questions. Now, if you feel like my answer was not clear enough or you want some more answers, just drop a comment and then, you know, I'll answer more in the comments. For now, this was it. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one. That was so stupid. I'm still trying to find like a proper ending because some people have the snap, some people have the clap, some people, I don't know, but I want something that's me, that's from me. Not sure. Like, I'm trying stuff and like trying to let it come spontaneous, but just stop talking, man.